Welcome to the Online Trainer Show, where we help fitness and nutrition pros take better care of their clients and build profitable businesses. I'm Jonathan Goodman, and as always, I'm joined by Amber Reynolds. We're happy you're here. Let's start the show. Hey everybody, welcome to the Online Trainer Show. This is Jonathan Goodman. Amber is going to be taking the lead on this episode, talking about how to wisely spend your continuing education dollars. Thank you, Amber, for being with us as always, and I can't wait to hear from you solely for this episode.
Why do you hate me so much?
No, I'll drop in here and there if you want.
Well, you know, I think my opinion is going to be on the unpopular side, in that I wish people would stop buying so many damn certifications.
So what should they be spending their money on? I mean, that's
yeah.
Hell yes.
I mean,
let's talk about that, because that is contradictory to what you will always hear on the social media. And so what should we be doing?
Did you know I have an MMA certification?
That doesn't surprise me. I envision you as somebody who just ground and pounds dummies for your workouts.
It was over a weekend. I needed like 0.8 CECs or something like that, and I bought something random and like read it within like 4 hours.
What the hell does that even mean?
I know. I don't remember any of it.
What is an MMA certification? What does that mean? That is,
I don't even remember. It's the fighting thing in the ring.
No, I know what MMA is. But all that is just a company jumping on a trend, being like, this is how we can sell some crap. Like what is that? Like the Courtroom Test is a great test. Mike Boyle, strength conditioning, fantastic coach. Somebody I learned from a lot earlier in my career. Said, I don't even remember where this was, I heard it, but I always quote him on it, and we asked him, and he said, yeah, that was me. So I believe him. So I'll attribute to him. The Courtroom Test. When selecting an exercise or a protocol, envision you standing in front of a judge with a jury, where you have to justify to that judge and that jury why that was the best, safest, and most effective choice that you could have made in that moment. I don't think there's any time where you're ever going to be able to justify to a judge that the best, most effective, and safest is going to be MMA fitness. I don't know. It's like hitting a sledgehammer with a tire, or hitting a tire with a sledgehammer. It's like, how the hell? I mean, straight up, if you enjoy that or if your client enjoys that, fine. But like, y'all don't need a certification in that.
Yeah.
Go on. Talk to me more about MMA fitness.
Well, I mean, my point is, I have so many useless certifications in this just for the sake of having to get continuing education credits. And so, like, it's hard to figure out where to spend your money when you're feeling pressured to, like, you have to redo it every 2 years. You have to spend money to recertify and for the certifications and yada, yada. So trying to figure out where to actually get good education can be really tough.
Right.
But I find we tend to do kind of what you alluded to in another episode of, we tend to do certifications that we feel comfortable in because we want to feel good and like, oh, I know that, or, you know, I'm already good at this or whatever. But we don't enjoy being in a space where we feel uncomfortable and where we feel out of our what's the word I'm looking for, but just our zone of genius. Right. And so finding certifications that challenge that, I think, are really good.
It sucks to do stuff you suck at.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks to do. I mean, I run away from stuff I suck at. Straight up. I don't want to do it.
Yep.
And so if you feel pressured that you have to do like CECs to keep your thing present, yeah, do whatever the hell you want. Do the cheapest ones you can find. Like, there's often free stuff. What you will also often find if you either find, but like, I never had a problem doing CECs because there was so much that I was doing. Like, there was so much that I was reading. Every in-service we had with our team, like, all of that counts. You just have to petition a lot of it. And so I never had any kind of an issue. I never had to do anything for CECs in all my years of being a trainer. I mean, yeah, like if you actually look at the list of what you can petition, often you can just kind of, you can often just petition like anything. As long as you're like trying to get better, like this is not a podcast that people are listening to that are not actively trying to get better, right? And if you're like that, you're probably reading and doing stuff already that counts for CECs. But where should, Amber, because this is your episode, where should people spend their continuing education dollars then? Like what's the progression, I guess is my question. Like how do we live our rich lives as people who work in health and fitness? Like what do we do? We want to get better.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on what the end goal is, really. So it depends. But I think, once you've learned what you typically learn through your CPT, then, I mean, client care, how do I actually take care of my clients in a effective, ethical way? So any certification that can deliver that would be exceptional to consider for sure. And that would apply to anyone. So whether they want to stay at a big box place or in a private facility or start their own business, that would certainly apply to any of those situations. And then from there, it depends on which direction you're going in.
Okay. So how do you know what direction to go?
Well, I don't know. You have to figure out what a quote unquote rich life looks like to you. What brings you joy, what makes you want to get out of bed every day. And like, so for me, that's my family. So anything that's going to help me, it's going to help me spend more time with them, so, I mean, over 4 years ago, I got my OTA certification and I got it specifically because it was going to allow me to spend more time with my son, because I wanted to be able to stay home and take care of him instead of having to work 40 plus hours outside of the home. And so switching to online training made sense for me to be able to accomplish that, because that was the dream for me, was to be able to take care of my son at home. For someone else, maybe they want to own their own facility, and then maybe a different certification, although I would argue OTA can be applied to anything, but there might be something that would make sense for them as well.
The Online Trainer Academy, the best certification for people who want to spend more time with their families.
Yes.
And it even works if you want to own your facility as well. I would argue that. The Online Trainer Academy, onlinetrainer.com/academy, enroll today. So Amber, I mean, I agree with you. I think I struggled with this too in my career training clients. And so, I will speak to it a little bit from my perspective, which is like, there's just so many things that I wanted to do. So many things I wanted to learn. And when I was younger and I had a lot of time, that was fine. I mean, I would go home and I would get the NS. I mean, I was an NSCA CSCS for a lot of years. So I would get the NSCA journal and I would, I'd read through the journal and then I'd look for review studies and whatever, and I just read, right? And I would organize. Actually, for a while, I had a group of people. It was basically an open invite Friday afternoons, because Friday afternoons are always quiet for training, like Friday at like 1 and 2, right? And I would just have an open invite where trainers locally could just come and basically just like, we'd all get together and anybody who wanted to could show up at the gym that I worked at Body and Soul Fitness. And they could, basically, you just put your hand up and be like, yeah, I learned something last week. I'd be happy to show you it. And anybody who learned something last week, it could be a new variation, could be a new cue, whatever it was, we basically just like do information sharing. That was really great to be able to do that and get to know people you work with. I mean, personal training can be kind of lonely, particularly if you're in a smaller gym. Like Body and Soul Fitness was a personal training specific gym, so it's got kind of lonely. There weren't a lot of members there. It was just personal training clients. And for the most part, there is a membership, but it's just not it's mostly a personal training gym. And so we did that, and it was great. But I started to struggle as I wanted to grow my career, because I wanted to grow my abilities on the training side, but I also wanted to grow my business abilities. And so I think this is actually Dane McDonald who clarified this to me. He's out in Australia. He runs a company called Clean Health. And I think he's the one who first said this to me that really made a lot of sense. And I might misquote it a little bit and have the numbers a bit wrong, but he basically said, your first year training, you should be about 70% fitness, 30% business. Your second year training, you should be about 50-50. Your third year training, you should be about 25-70, like 25% fitness, 75% business. And then you should be probably about 25-70 every year that follows. Like it gets to a point where, assuming you train general population clients, right? If you're trying to push the limits of human ability and get people on stage and get people on podiums and win competitions, totally different ballgame, right? But if you were like the vast majority of trainers, where all that you're doing is helping regular people feel a little bit better and hurt a little bit less, it won't take that long for you to know enough to be able to really change their lives. Like, it actually isn't that complicated after you've put in some work, right? And this is in addition to your initial study to get into the industry, right? What really matters as you continue on is not that you go deeper into the nuances of human physiology. What really matters is that you go deeper into understanding human psychology, and you go deeper into business development. And business development isn't just about how you make more money. It's how you actually create an experience for that client from before you even meet them. Because your coaching starts from the first moment they see you, hear you, view you. Your first coaching session is your sales call with that person. When you understand business and consultative business and value addition, and you understand how to sell, and you understand how to make people feel like they're part of a community as part of your business, and you build relationships that way, all of a sudden you start getting much better results with your clients in a way that understanding and pushing the edges of the nuances of understanding physiology actually can't do. Because all that matters, most of what matters, is that they're showing up consistently and excited about it and including other people in the process. And so, in terms of how to spend your continuing education dollars, if you're looking for like a very quick, if you're looking for a very quick way to figure out how to spend your education dollars in the fitness industry, year one, 75% business, 25% of business. Year two, 50% business, 50% fitness. Year three, 25% fitness, 75% business. Every year that follows, 25% fitness, 75% business. That's my recommendation.
Well, that's a lot easier to follow than what I said.
That's why I let you start.
Thanks. You just wanted to show me. Let's see how that is.
No, I mean,
I'm just not
you bring such a different level of experience and thoughtfulness to this, which is always so cool. Like I never was a certification junkie, which is interesting because I created one, but like I never, like I've said this before, like I don't think I would have ever bought the Online Trainer Academy. I would have read every single one of my books.
No.
But I don't think that I would have bought the Online Trainer Academy, right? It was just not how, it's just not kind of how I learned. So,
sure.
It's a whole other conversation about how I think education is changing and needs to change and how we're changing our education, but we'll get into that later. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, Robert.